I have another quick question for you guys. Quick. um, you guys are saying really good things, and I'm thinking about how there's so many people experiencing this whole situation very differently. And I feel a little bit like we're speaking mostly to people in quarantine and stay at home, even though that's not our intention. So, what would you say similarly to people who maybe have experienced trauma in their past, maybe are feeling a little bit re-triggered now, but are still working? Maybe they're essential personnel at a hospital or, um, a restaurant or whatever. And there's so many people, postal workers, right? There's so many people that still have to be out there, and this is really scary because they're exposed to it on a much higher level every day. Um, any thoughts there? Do we just lower our expectations? Do we try to keep pushing forward and plugging ahead with our progress? And just think about that for a second. I'm going to add the second one in, and maybe your question kind of answers both, or you may address both, whatever. But the other question was, how about parents of kids with trauma right now? And so kids are home, and most parents are home with, although again, there's some that are probably working, and that's its own struggle. Are there ways to help your kids experience trauma through this huge change, which can be very traumatic for them? I'm springing this on them, just so you know. Questions I just thought of in a moment.
Well, for myself, answering both of those, I kind of see them two different pieces. So I'm going to start with the first question and then kind of switch gears to the second. That first one, if you are working and you find that this is just a lot to manage on top of, everything that's going on in the world with the virus and how it's affected everyone, and then you're still expected to find that normal, that I'm still going to work and I'm not isolated and I have the risk of every day I go out and I have to interact with people and places and such. I would just encourage you that I would hold a loose expectation as far as managing the feelings as they come, right? So it's not that you're expected to be some sort of superhero where you absolve your anxiety every single day, right? Maybe just hold a very loose expectation, and what I mean by that is, what might it look like that as you wake up in the morning and that anxiety is the first thing that kind of hits you before your feet even hit the ground? Ask yourself, what's one way that I could lessen this right now? It doesn't have to go away, but how can I get myself where I'm in a place where anxiety is no longer something that I have to fight? It's something that I can just kind of welcome to join me throughout the day, but it's going to have to use its inside voice when it talks with me, right? So something that you can get it to a place where it's a little bit gentler, not so invasive, rather than thinking that somehow you have to be expected to manage throughout your day to day in a way that, yeah, no, I don't experience any anxiety at all. I don't think it's realistic right now. It's going to be there, and that's okay. So that's kind of what I mean by holding a looser expectation in that sense for the working professionals still. Also, if I can just encourage you, what you do matters. I think that's why you're still expected to work. And I think that you should know that a lot of people are grateful for what you do and how you do it. So continue to take care of yourself in the best way that you know how. And if that means that you need to take a vacation day or something like that, maybe you look into the options. And is that possible for you to take care of yourself? And if you can't, how can you take care of yourself on the days that you're off? Really be intentional about that time. And as far as the parents of kiddos who have experienced trauma, modeling is going to be super important. Keeping the door open for communication is going to be super important. For those kiddos to know that they're safe, and that it's okay for them to be scared and upset and frustrated and all these things, because hey, you know what, mom and dad feel them too, and we're just as uncertain as you are, and that's okay, but we'll manage this together. So that's modeling. How you manage your own is typically how your kiddos are going to follow. And it's going to be important for you to keep that door open for the communication as well. So be honest with them. You don't have to be superheroes. You don't have to have all the answers, because no one does. And I think that your kids are going to know when you're being real with them and when you're not. It's going to be important for them to see the authentic you. It doesn't mean that you unload all of your troubles and woes on your kiddos by any means, but it also means that you can be honest with them and say, you know, I'm not sure, I don't have those answers right now. But this is how we're gonna move forward together, and we're gonna figure it out together.
Yeah, I liked everything you said there, Gillian. And so when I was thinking about the first one, you know, I thought, like, you know, even along the road, some people have like, you're like, to essential workers, you know, you're a hero, and I saw something about a superhero. It's all over social media even. But then the response typically from essential workers is that, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just doing my job. And so some essential workers might feel that way. And that's an okay thing, you know. Saying like, oh, you're a superhero, it sets the bar so high that, you know, you're able to do your job, live normally, all of this stuff, but, you know, maybe it's really hard to do and you feel like you're falling apart, so you might not feel like a superhero at all. And so, yeah, having grace for yourself. Everyone's going to have a rough day here and there. And yeah, just take a vacation day, like Gillian said, you know, focus on self-care, connecting with nature, connecting with yourself, with loved ones. All of that's really important. And I think, you know, too, like the analogy of, you know, you can't, like, you think about an airplane. You know, if you're in an airplane and you lose cabin pressure, the little, I guess you would call them a mask, would drop down. And they always say, help yourself first and then help the person beside you. Because, yeah, if you don't help yourself first and you're just trying to help other people, well, eventually you might lose, you know, all the air that's in your lungs and you might pass out. And so it's important to help ourselves. And, you know, maybe in this time, we don't have time to completely focus on ourselves. We might be, you know, doing crazy hours just trying to get things done. But even a little can go a long way as far as self-care. And that will help us to be able to do our jobs well and to be able to help people really well. As far as the parenting question, what I thought of was, you know, whether the child has been through trauma or not, this is going to be helpful. We can't just reason with our children. You know, if there's an outburst, we're not going to be able to get through. You might have more luck talking to a wall because at that stage, a child can't really reason. They're back in their survival brain. So we have to help them regulate first. And there's tips, I think, in our parenting video, and even the first video that we made as far as regulation would be perfect for that. And just some tips for that. Then we're going to connect, we're going to relate with the child. So that might be giving them a hug or sitting on the couch with them as they are kind of, you know, past calming down, they're still kind of calming down, but connecting with them. And then after we relate with them and we help them to realize, like, okay, well, yeah, they're going to realize, like, okay, mom, dad, whoever, yeah, they get me, like, they're here for me. So it creates a safe place that then you can reason and you can say, you know, hey, what was going on earlier? Or, you know, talk through better choices or boundaries or whatever it may be. But that puts the child, whether they've been through a traumatic experience or not, that puts the child in a good place to move forward, I would say. So.
Great answers, guys. You rock, really. Well done on the spot there. So everybody, we hope this was helpful. I feel like we touched on a lot of stuff. Don't feel bad if you want to watch this again. But as always, we are available still. We are still doing sessions. We're doing video sessions and phone sessions right now. Hoping that the restrictions are lifted soon and y'all can come out to the farm. But until then, we want to stay safe and keep you guys safe too. And but we are available if you have questions about any of this. So much of it, like we were saying earlier, is very generalized because trauma is so unique to every single individual. Everybody experiences things differently. Even if you know, two siblings in the same room experiencing the same event, they are going to walk away with it with different experiences in their mind. And so, you know, it does not matter what you're feeling right now. Like, it's not wrong to feel bad. It's not wrong to feel totally okay with this. It's not wrong to feel like you're backsliding. It's not wrong to feel like, actually, I'm making leaps and bounds in my progress right now. Everybody deals with things a little bit differently. But be kind to yourself. Validate where you're at. And use some healthy coping skills and reach out to people. Support is so important. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I hope you guys stay healthy and well and are blessed through this, that there are good things to come from even this. So, all right, bye. I don't know how to stop recording, so I'll just cut off the end. There we go.